Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. And we ask Allah to accept our fasting and our prayer and our supplication, our dua. We ask Allah to increase our iman. Yesterday we stopped we stopped about fasting of the person who is traveling. So, Siyamul Musafir. So the person who is traveling, so this person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed him to break his fast because he's traveling. This is the business of Islam. As Allah said, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. Allah wants to have facility for you. He doesn't want to have difficulty on you. So, if you're traveling, it's allowed to you to stop fasting, to break your fast. Why? You are not traveling, because the traveling is not easy. It's not easy. Even in traveling in airplane, so not matter. You're traveling on your feet, walking on the bike, on the car, or traveling an airplane, or traveling. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, "As-safaru qit'atun min al-'adab." Traveling in the part of punishment is not easy, because if you travel, it will prevent you your food. The traveling will prevent you your drink. The travel will prevent you your sleeping. So you don't sleep on the time, don't eat on the time, you don't drink on the time. So it's not easy. This will be another traveling. Traveling on your feet, walking, or in the car, on airplane. So, what kind of traveling? We say if this is traveling, you can stop fasting. So some of ulama say 80 kilo. 80 kilo is how many miles? Around 60 or 50, between 50 miles or 60. So some ulama say that. But the authentic one is, any traveling, the people say you travel. So when the people ask about you, you went somewhere, they say you travel. But if you go somewhere and go back same day, so usually the ulama, they don't accept that as traveling. So the traveling, you go somewhere, and you cannot come back in the same day. So you go and you stay there for a while and come back. So this is traveling. But you go, like you go to Milwaukee, from here to Mona, about 100 miles. The ulama no accept that if you go to Milwaukee and come back, even is more than 80 kilos or more than 50 miles, more than even 100 miles. But if you go in the morning, you come back in the evening, the ulama, they say it is not traveling. So the traveling, you go somewhere and stay there 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and come back. This is traveling. So, and the second condition to stop fasting in your traveling, your traveling not be for ma'asiyah, not disobeying Allah. So some people, they traveling for concert, for dancing. If you travel for dancing, even if you make 1,000 miles and you stay there 3 days, it not allow you to break your fast. So the ulama say that to be traveling, to have this easiness of Allah, to stop fasting break your fast while you're traveling, your travel must be obeying Allah. So all traveling permissible, like traveling for visit your family, this is permissible. You traveling to visit your teacher or your wife or your husband, all this traveling is permissible. So, and the traveling what is obligatory, like traveling to Hajj or traveling to Umrah. So if you travel to Umrah, it allows you to break your fast. Or traveling for jihad, all these is allow you to break your fast. But traveling for disobeying Allah, traveling for dancing or something like this is not allow you to break your fast. And last condition, the traveling must not be so make a complaint, you make something to prevent you fasting, because some people do like this. They say, oh, someone in traveling is allowed to him, is allowed for him to stop fasting. So they don't have nothing to go. They don't have for nothing to travel, because if I travel, I don't fast. So he will travel for nothing to prevent himself from fasting. This is not acceptable, because al-hila la tamshi ala Allah. What you do that, you can do that between you and human being, but Allah knows you more than yourself. So and even stop fasting, break fast for the person who is traveling is permissible, is allowed for him to fast too. So if you know that he can fast, but what is better, to stop fasting or to fast, what is better? So this is different between ulama. So but the authentic thing is, if you know himself, he first reach out any difficulty on him, so he can fast in Ramadan, because if you fast time of Ramadan, this more work than he left his time fasting after Ramadan. So and even Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, sometimes Prophet was fasting and traveling, and some of his Sahaba, Abu Huraira, was fasting while was traveling with the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But if the fasting is going to be very difficult on him until he gets sick, so the fasting in that situation is haram, because Allah make it easy. Have to take easiness of Allah. So Allah wants you take his easiness until something as you want to take his mandatory. So if Allah says something, this is mandatory to you. You have to do that. Allah like that. And if he said, this is easiness for me, so you have to take that too. This is better than to put yourself in difficult situation, not necessary. And anyone he has intention to travel in the Ramadan, so it's not allowed for him immediately to break his fast. So he cannot break his fast until he start traveling. So like, I want to travel today to New York. So in the morning, I don't say I don't fast today. You have to eat your sahur when you start traveling. When you leave, you left your last building of the city, you leave. There, you start traveling and allow you to break your fast. But before that, it's not allow you to break your fast even you have intention to fasting, you have your ticket, you have everything. But why you did not start traveling, you don't pass the last building of your city, it will not allow you to break your fast. So the building of your city is the last building. So sometimes some city in 50 years ago, last building was here, but after 50 years, so it will be wide. The city will be wide, or other cities will be together. Don't say this is the limit of Chicago. So the limit of Chicago, but other city is come to Chicago. So you have to pass all these buildings. Like who wants traveling in the airplane? So until O'Hare cannot break it fast, until he enter airplane and airplane leave. So this time he start break his fast. Because O'Hare and Chicago same thing. Even it's not one town, one city, but Islamically one city because the building, all the buildings is together. So you have to pay attention about that. And another rule, if someone is fast, then sunset, we fast here in Chicago, sunset while he's sitting in airplane, he break his fast, and airplane take off. So after the airplane take off, you see the sun again. When he was on the land, sunset. The azan, make azan, sunset. But after 1 or 2 minutes, airplane take off. So you see the sun again. The fasting is authentic because it's complete his day. If you see the sun again, this not have any effect in his fasting. This rule you have to know that too. And another rule, anyone who fasting and travel and come to other city and you have intention that you stay there more than 4 days. For majority of ulama, they say that person has to fast. It's not allowed to break his fasting. If he stay in other city more than 4 days. Some of them say 3 days, but they say the day he come they are and he left no count. So 3 days when he stay, if it's more than 3 days, he have to fast. It's not allowed for him to break his fasting because the limit of traveling is 4 days. 4 days, the maximum day, as some ulama say, but other ulama say 3 days, but they don't count the day of arrival day and leaving day. They don't count that. So if you stay more than 4 days, you have to fast. Same thing. If you stay more than 4 days, you have to complete your salah. If you pray 2, so because it's allowed to you to pray 2 rak'ah or salat with 4 rak'ah, like Zuhr and Asr and Isha. It's allowed to pray these 2. But if you stay more than 3 or 4 days, you have to complete your salah. You have to complete your salah. This is the authentic one. Not I traveling for 1 month or during this 1 month I pray for the 2 rak'ah. No. If your travel is 3 days or 4 days, you can pray 2 rak'ah until you come back. But you have intention that I will stay here 1 week or 10 days. So you have to complete your salah. You have to complete the Zuhr 4 rak'ah and Asr 4 rak'ah and Isha 4 rak'ah, not 2. And you have to do your fasting if it's in Ramadan. You have to do your fasting if you travel in Ramadan. So except, so you go somewhere, you don't know how many days I will stay. Sometimes people go somewhere for some paperwork, you don't know how many days I will stay. Maybe I will go today, tomorrow I will complete my paperwork, I'll come back. So, but sometimes every day go to the office, they say come tomorrow, they come tomorrow, and they stay there 1 month. And this situation is Allah for that person to pray to rak'ah until he come back. Even he stay 1 year, and Allah for him to break his fast, even his off the Ramadan, while he don't know when he will finish his matter, because he don't know. But if I have intention that it stay more than 4 days, so I have to.
Complete after the 4 days, or do you know that you're gonna stay more than 4 days? You're gonna start.
No, if you know, I will go to New York, so I will stay there 1 week. So while you come to New York, you stop. You have to fast in Ramadan. Not say I will stop fasting 3 days, then you start. No, because you have intention already. You have intention of living. Iqama, have niyyat al-iqama, have intention of living. So if you come to New York, your travel is finished. You're traveling away, you are traveling. But if you come to New York, you are not traveling anymore. Because you have intention, you will stay in New York more than 4 days. If you come to New York, you arrive in New York, so you complete your all salah and stop and fasting. You don't have to break your fast because you have intention to live in New York more than 4 days. So
you have to fast.
So you have to fast
All the days.
All the day when you come, but and the route you are traveling, so you don't, no fasting, and you pray 2 rak'ah for Zuhr and Asr and Al-Isha. But if you are in New York, now you are muqim, you are resident.
But this from the difference, this is more like Shakar and Qiyas issue, right?
Some ulama say
that. It's not like we have done it straight from the Prophet. It's like more Qiyas or Shakar or.
This is from a hadith, and what the Prophet ﷺ did. So the first thing we say for 4 days, the ulama said that from the Prophet ﷺ, what he did in his Hajj. So he stayed in Mecca no more than 4 days. So he was doing qasr, tafsir, was praying 2 rak'ah. So this was not in the Ramadan, because Hajj time is not Ramadan. So, and other one, what they say, Ousmane bin Affan radiallahu anhu, when he went to Hajj, he committed. So because he stayed there more than 4 days. Yes, therefore the ulama say 4 days is the maximum. So, but if someone he don't know how many days I will stay, he don't know, he don't have attention to stay, but he stay by force. This person can continue to stop fasting and continue to pray 2 rak'ah for Zuhr and Asr and Al-Isha. And another rule, anyone start fasting was the residence is living in the city, he start fasting. After that, he travel. So this person, when he start traveling, he can break his fast. And the people who usually all their life is traveling, Because some people all their life is traveling, like truck driver or bus driver, all the time they are traveling. So they allow to stop fasting in the Ramadan because they traveling, but in a condition if they have residence somewhere. But if they don't have residence, all his life is room in the truck. So if like this person is not allowed for him to stop fasting. So if you have, because some people they in the truck driver overload, but they have somewhere, they have their residence, so in some city. So when they have residence in some city, sometimes they go to the residence. So it's allowed for them to break their fast, even if it's in all the Ramadan. When they go back to their home, so they pay fasting. But if is in his truck, in the truck is his room in the truck, they don't have address anyway. All his thing in his truck, so all the year, during the year in his truck, he don't go any home. So he cannot break his fast, because if he breaks his fast, when he will pay? You don't have time to pay. You have to fast. That person have to fast. Another rule: if someone was fasting, so it's allowed to break his fast, but he already come back during the daytime of Ramadan. So, like he was traveling in Europe, he come in the Zuhr time. So ulama say it's better for that person to hold himself, not eat until sunset, because he came already. And after Ramadan, he paid that day while he was not fasting. But if he was fasting, he don't pay, because if he's fasting and the traveling, the fasting is authentic. But it's better to stop fasting it's better to stop fasting. But if the fasting and not fasting is the same thing for you, so that situation is better to fast, because the time of Ramadan is blessed time. So you fast in the Ramadan while you traveling. And if you start fasting in some city, like start fasting in Chicago, after that you travel to another city, so your route is the city you travel to there. So like someone, he fasted in Chicago and he take airplane go to Medina. So if you come to Medina people, they break their fasting, break his fasting. So he break his fast, because we don't say people of Chicago, they don't break their fast yet. No. The rule is by what he live now. I don't know if you understand. Because sometimes if you was in the Chicago and you go to Medina, you will break your fast early. And something, otherwise if you were living in the Medina and come to Chicago, your fasting will be long. You cannot say, oh, this time people of Medina, they fast already. Me too, I break my fast. It's not acceptable. So you have to follow where you are now. Therefore, in the traveling, stop fasting. That is better, because if not, sometimes you will get difficult. So sometimes you can fast more than 20 hours. So this happens when people live in China. So they fast, they take airplane from Hong Kong, come to Jeddah. So between Hong Kong and Jeddah about how many hours? 5 hours different. So they come same hour, but they leave from Hong Kong. So they has very long day, because like they come with the sun. So they have very difficult in the Medina when they come. So they cannot break their fasting because the people of Hong Kong break their fast. Because the rule is about where you live. So you have to follow rule in that city. So while the sun is not set yet in the Medina, so they cannot break their fasting. So this is about some rule about fasting and traveling. And now we go to
Imam, clarify that again. Meaning, let's say I leave Chicago, I start fasting, and I take a flight, I go to New York. In New York time, break. I mean, I
New York time break early.
break early. But when New York time, when New York time comes, I break my fast.
Yeah, you break your fast.
Because I'm in New York already.
Yes. Same thing if you start fasting in New York and come to Chicago. So you don't say New York, people of New York, they break his fast. So me too, I start in New York, me too, I will break my fast in Chicago. This is not acceptable. You have to wait the time of Chicago.
So basically, wherever you are, you follow the sun.
Yeah, where you are, you follow the road of that city. That is so between Chicago, not long. So between somebody very long time. Like between Hong Kong and Medina or Hong Kong and Lagos, very long. But Australia and Chicago, very long, more than 10 hours. So if you start fasting in Australia and come to Chicago, maybe sometimes you fast more than 20 hours. So, and now we go to about fasting of sick people. Any sickness. So if the person not have healthy, is not sick or is not have, he will have difficulty to fast. So in Islam allow him to break his fasting. So some people sometimes they ask, I want fast, but I do not take my medicine. I am sick. If I don't take my medicine, I'm sick. So if your medicine cannot wait until sunset, it's allowed to you to break your fast. So, but you cannot take your medicine and you say, I'm still fasting. Because if you take your medicine, you drink water, this fasting is break. It's broken now. Any kind of sickness, so prevent is difficult to people to do fasting. This is it allow you to break your fast. As Allah said that, وَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا. If someone is sick, so Allah for him to break his fast. You know yourself more than anyone else, but Allah know you more than yourself. So don't say I am sick, I cannot fast, and you know you can fast. So the fasting you don't do for anyone, you do for Allah. So Allah say as-sawmu li or as-siyamu li wa ana ajzi bihi. The fasting is for me, and me I will pay. So this meaning the fasting is not something you do for human being. You don't do fasting for anyone, you do for Allah. So you know yourself that you cannot fast. Allah allow you stop fasting because you are sick. But if you are not sick, you stop fasting and say I am sick, you know Allah knows you more than yourself. So some people they go to doctor and doctor say, oh, you cannot fast. So and yourself, you know, you can fast. The doctor say no. So you have to fasting. You have to do fasting. And the doctor who Islam accepts his notice that you cannot do fasting, this is Muslim doctor. Muslim doctor, you have to ask that doctor. No other doctor you ask him, he say you cannot fast. Because he's not Muslim, he don't care. You fast, you don't care. So some of them, they hate your religion. So it's not allow you to ask some doctor like this. So you have to ask the Muslim doctor who fear Allah. So he know the responsibility when he say you cannot fast. What is the responsibility? The Prophet ﷺ said, if you break fasting of one day, so in the Ramadan, even you fast all the day of dunya until your al-akhirah, you cannot pay that one day you break. So if the doctor who is not Muslim, you don't care about that, but he's donor. But the doctor is Muslim, he's care about that, he's worried about that. What is the responsibility? Because Allah will ask him, why you prevent this person? You say you cannot fasting, well you can fast, and he break fasting. So if you want to break your fast and ask doctor, you have to go to doctor who is Muslim, who fear Allah, is Muslim, you know rules. What is consequence if you don't fast? So if your sickness will be increased if you fast, it's allowed for you to break your fast. Because some sickness, if you don't fast, if you fast, the sickness is increased. So you can stop fasting and pay later when you get healthy. Now?
Yeah, for the one who cannot fast, what does he have to do?
Okay, we are coming to that, inshallah.
Okay.
So if someone is sick, so even he's sick, he wants fast. He fast until he got coma. You know what is coma?
Coma.
It's coma, huh? Is English coma too? Yeah. Okay. He's sick. So it's better to stop fasting, but he said, I want fast. He fast, he went to coma. If he come from coma before sunset, so his fasting is authentic. But if he went to coma until sunset, his fasting is not authentic, you have to pay that day. So, I don't know if you understand. He fast, he's sick, he fast Zuhr time, so he had got sickness increased. So he went coma until after time. After after time, he come back. So this person is so is authentic, but he still if he continue to coma until sunset, so this day he not fast. He have to pay after Ramadan. So
the whole day you got sick for 2 hours. You didn't eat and drink, right? And then like you said, you lost consciousness. So maybe something happened. Car hit you or something, right? And then you wake up. Your fast is good or you continue fasting or
it's coma for 2 hours?
Maybe, yes.
Okay, if you come back before Maghrib. Before Maghrib is fasting is good. But if the sunset is still coma, the fasting is not authentic, have to pay, as majority of ulama say that. And even if someone is not sick, is healthy, but the hunger is hungry so very much and is soft. If you need water.
Thirsty?
Thirsty. So thirsty is difficult to him until he is close to die. So if he is not sick, is break his fast, so to save his life. So sometimes the sun is very hot. So some people, if you don't drink in the Fajr, so maybe if you don't drink immediately, you will die. So this is better. It's better to break his fasting. So for the time we stop here. Your question, inshallah, maybe next day we can.
Sorry, Imam.
You want to say this question?
No, back to the same one. Sometimes we pray, maybe Asr, Zuhur, somebody like you say is very hungry. During Salah, he fall down.
Okay. He fall down. If this is hunger, it's not sport, it's not accept. So he can break his fast to save his life, because this come to rule of sickness. Yes. So the people who cannot fasting for sickness, what he do? So he feed the poor people. This needs more explanation. Inshallah, we'll say that another day, maybe Yom Isnain, Monday. Inshallah, and time of al-Adhan. Al-Adhan. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam ala Muhammadin. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.